My name is Joseph Slater. I'm 70 years of age and I come from Ballina, County Mayo. Originally, I was first diagnosed in the Blackrock Clinic in Dublin. I had been suffering from severe headaches and dizziness and vision problems. And I was brought in there and I was there for 3 or 4 days and they tried to sort out what the problem was. And then I was on a blood pressure monitor for 3 different occasions. And as a result of that, they came back with the diagnosis that I was suffering from high blood pressure or hypertension. They recommended a course of tablets, which my Judy took and was on from that day up to virtually nearly the present. I've tried every type of medication to try and curb the blood pressure, because my blood pressure at any stage would be severely high. And as I said many times, it went up as far as 230 over 140, 240 over 145. And I used to ask the question, how high can your blood pressure go? And some of the consultants said to me, well, that's as high as I've ever seen it. So I said, what could happen? He said, the possibility is that you could have a stroke, and further that, he said, you could have a heart attack if we didn't get your blood pressure under control. So that had been going on for years, and every time new medication came out, I was tried the medication, but still the blood pressure was high, and at occasions when it used to peak. And when it peaked, a day or two after the high peak, I'd have severe headaches, I'd have blurred vision, I'd have loss of memory, and I didn't really take it too serious because I was young and I was active at the time. But as the years progressed, it got gradually worse. And I was in the United States with the company and I had a blackout and I was airlifted by helicopter to a hospital there. And they had said it was severe hypertension and the prescribed medication was on a drip and so on and so forth in the hospital. And then I was finally discharged. So that was the first time there was a mishap as such. But then when I was on a family holiday going back maybe 15 or 16 years ago, we were just having dinner one night and I collapsed again, and paramedics came and I was taken off with a police escort and the ambulance. And I was in hospital for 10 days over in the Grand Canaries. And that was a kind of, I was beginning to get weary. I had a young family at the time. And I changed consultants and again, they changed medication, asked to change lifestyle and recommended different diets and so on and so forth, which I did and complied with. And over the years, it still was probably the same. And I've been in hospital so many times, and it was in those years, but I know in the last few years I've been taken by ambulance on 15 occasions, and I was taken in by helicopter on another occasion. And going back in 2017 and moved forward, I had a stroke and I was rushed to the Galway Regional Hospital. And I was lucky that I was got in time and I survived it. After a few weeks rehab, I got back to 99% of how I was. And then the following year, in 2018, I had a heart attack and I was being taken by ambulance, and I had another attack just 100 yards from the house, and they organised the helicopter and I was moved to Galway, where I was stented. I just mentioned I was also stented prior to that in Galway, and even up to last year I've had more since. I think it's 5 or 6 stents I've in at this stage. But then I had changed consultants going back a few years ago, and I had met with Professor Sharif, and he was again using medication, and we discussed in this renal denervation, and he said I'd be an ideal candidate for that. That took place in 2019. It was, never felt anything, it was a simple procedure, and a few weeks after that, the blood pressure started to stabilise. I was still on the medication, and after a few months the blood pressure was beginning to drop. And I think from that date, that was going back in 2019, from that date to this, I never had a peak in blood pressure. It's been pretty stable, or as stable as anyone's is for a person of my age, you know. And my medication has been cut down dramatically. I'm only on 1 tablet a day to just complement the procedure. And I honestly think that if I didn't have the procedure with Professor Sharif, that I wouldn't be here talking to you here today. And I'd recommend anyone that has any type of blood pressure to get it, you know, seen to get it checked on a regular basis. And if it's uncontrollable like mine was, that they should go and have this procedure done. Because it's changed my life completely. I'm now able to play with my grandson. I'm able to go walking. I'm able to do all the things that normally would take a toll on me. And that's my story.